Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have some more Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs. Let me know down in the comments below which one of these DIYs is your favorite or which one you might like to try out for this Halloween season. If you're new here and you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, especially Halloween, make sure to stick around by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you never miss out. Alright, let's get started. For this first DIY, I'm going to use 3 of these big plastic bones that Dollar Tree is selling this year, and one of these little shepherd's hooks that I got from Dollar Tree in the springtime that I've just had lying around. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the bottom piece. All you have to do is just pull up on it and it comes right off. And I am going to take one of the bones and I'm going to use my hot glue gun to put a hole through the top of the bone, and then I'm going to insert the hook or the shepherd's hook pole through the bone and then add another hole in the bottom of the bone to pull it all the way through. Now I'm going to take another bone and I'm going to put a hole through the top of it and insert it through the pole, but it's a little bit too long, so I'm just going to go ahead and use an X-Acto knife and cut off a little bit of the bone so that way the pole sticks out beyond the bone. And then I'm just going to insert that bone through that pole and hot glue the 2 bones together at the top there. And I'm going to save that little piece of bone that I cut off. Now for the third bone, I'm going to come up to the top of the shepherd's hook and I'm going to put a hole in the bone with my hot glue gun again. And I'm going to take it through the hook. And of course it's going to sit uneven when I do that. So I am just going to find a spot where the bone sits evenly, and I'm going to use my hot glue gun like I'm doing here, and I'm poking a hole through that, and then I'm taking the hook and I'm sliding that through the hole, and that's going to make this sit a lot more even than it did before. It's still not perfect, but this is Halloween, so it doesn't have to look too perfect as long as it just sits a little more even. And then I hot glued those 2 bones together. Now I'm going to take this matte white spray paint and spray paint all of the bones. And that's because I want to give this more of a dirty, real bone kind of look. So I spray painted all of the bones and then I used a little bit of stain and wiped them down with that to make them look a little more dirty. So you can skip that step and leave them pure white. It's up to you. And then for the sign for this, I'm going to use this Dollar Tree trick or treat sign. I think it's cute as is. So I just attached it to the top of the bone with some twine, and then to cover up the shepherd's hook and then in between the bones, I'm going to use some floral moss. I just hot glued it right there in between the bones and some on top of the bones, and that just kind of gives it more of a spooky Halloween vibe, I think, and then it covers up all of the things that you don't really want to see. Now to make my sign stand up, I'm going to use one of these planters from Dollar Tree that I've had lying around for a long time. And then I'm going to use some of these black rocks that I have from Dollar Tree just lying around. You could use whatever to weigh the planter down. And then I have a styrofoam block from Dollar Tree and I just inserted that into the planter. It fit perfectly, but make sure that you hot glue it also on the edges and the corners so that way it stays in place. And then I just inserted the pole from my bone sign into that styrofoam with some hot glue, and you just want to make sure that you use a lot of hot glue to make sure that it stands up because the sign makes it way down on one side just a little bit. So I'm using Gorilla Glue and it works really well to hold things up. So I just made sure that I just put a lot of hot glue and held it up while it dried so that it stayed in place perfectly. And then I took that bone that I cut there and I hot glued that to the bottom. I added some more rocks and I added some moss on the top. And that is it for this DIY. I love how it turned out. It's really unique and it's super cute. It's perfect for Halloween. You can put it outside on your front porch or inside in your entryway or wherever you would like. It is just a nice added touch for the Halloween season. For this next DIY, I'm going to use one of these black velvet skulls from Dollar Tree that's new this year. I actually intended to use one of the moss-covered skulls for this DIY, but I tried something and I failed and ruined the only one I had. So anyways, I'm going to use the black velvet one for this DIY, and I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife and cut a piece out of the top of the head. It is plastic and not styrofoam inside there, so you just want to make sure you're careful with cutting that when you cut into it. And then I put in some floral foam that I had from Dollar Tree. I just cut it in half and I put some hot glue down so that way it would stick to the bottom, and then I put in some rocks that I had from Dollar Tree to weigh it down. And then I'm using some floral that I had left over from spring, some of these little, I think lavender picks is what it is, and I just filled up the head with these floral picks. You could use any florals you want. You could use more fall florals, you could use red roses, however you would like to go with this, it's up to you. And then I did put a little floral moss around the bottom of this. I like how this turned out, however, I don't like all of the lint that this one skull attracts, so I'll probably switch it out to the moss one when I get a chance. So for this next DIY, it is really simple. I'm going to use 3 of these fake books from Dollar Tree, and this year I love these 3 because they go with my vibe and they have that witchy feel and fortune teller feel to them. So I picked these 3 specific books out, and I like the way they look and I love the colors, and I'm just going to stack them on top of each other, but I'm going to stack them offsetting them, and then I'm going to hot glue them together on the bottom so that way they stay together. And then I love this big eyeball. I think it works perfectly with the theme of these books, so I just hot glued it on top there, and then you can see here each book still opens up so you can store stuff in them. They are technically gift boxes, so you could give this as a gift to somebody if you would like to. And then I just place them on my shelf in my kitchen where my coffee bar is. I think it goes perfectly, and it's super simple, but it goes with the vibe, so I love how this turned out, and it's affordable. For this DIY, I'm going to use one of these battery-operated LED candles, and I love the print on these napkins from Dollar Tree, so I'm going to use one of them to cover the candle. So I'm just going to cut a square out so that way there is a full design on one of the napkins, and then I'm going to cut off one of the borders on the side, and then I'm going to cut off a little more than the border on the bottom, just so that way it doesn't wrap too much on the bottom. And then unfortunately one napkin doesn't wrap all the way around the candle, so I did use another napkin and just cut that out to fill in the gap. And then I'm just going to use some Mod Podge. I've had this Mod Podge for forever. It actually came from Dollar Tree a long time ago. It's just a little bottle. And I'm just going to put some on my candle and then lay the napkin on top, which actually I forgot to take off the bottom layer of the napkin. So make sure you do that when you are Mod Podging anything. This is like a 2-ply napkin, so you have to take one of the plies off that obviously doesn't have the print. So I just did that, and then I added some more where the gap was, and then I laid the other picture down and trimmed it to fit, and then I just laid a little bit of Mod Podge over the edges of that, so that way it stuck down nicely. And then I came back around the top and added a little Mod Podge to make sure that it stuck down, and then also on the bottom as well. You can cut that off, or it worked fine just to Mod Podge it down, as long as you don't cover up the battery or the on-off switch to the candle. Then you could leave the candle just like this. I decided to add some drips to make it look like the wax was dripping down the candle. I just used my hot glue gun and I added a layer of hot glue, and then I let that dry, and then I added a couple more layers just to make it look a little bit more fuller. And then once the hot glue was dry, I came back with some black acrylic paint and I painted all of the drips and also the inside of the candle as well. And that was it. This was another easy and cost-effective Halloween DIY, just to add a little bit of extra touch to your Halloween decor without spending a ton of money. You can make a lot of these since there's a lot of napkins in the pack. I think it turned out really cute. This last DIY has been a trend for the past couple Halloweens, and I have wanted to do it for a long time, and one of my subscribers on one of my videos commented about this skeleton and doing this DIY with it, and I'm sorry I can't remember who it was, but thank you for that, because this is an awesome DIY and it turned out so cool. I just picked up a black t-shirt. I actually got this one from the thrift store, and I washed it, and then I just laid out this wooden skeleton from Dollar Tree on it, and I put some bleach with some water in a spray bottle, just equal parts, and I sprayed the whole shirt. And after a couple seconds, it turned out so awesome. I let it sit for about 10 minutes. I also did the back, and then I washed it in the washing machine with a little bit of detergent and dried it in the dryer, and it looks so cool. I love this t-shirt. I'm going to be wearing it all through the Halloween season this year, and I definitely want to make more. You guys should definitely do this trend. It is super fun, super easy, and so cool. Well, that is the wrap for this Halloween DIY video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below which Halloween DIY you'll be trying out this season, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.